The movie opens with a jarring flashback. A young boy named Randy witnesses a disturbing scene. A woman with an injury around her eyes. Cut to the present day. Randy, now 21, jolts awake from the same haunting nightmare. That difficult memory has never left his mind. Trying to shake it off, he gets into his car and drives to his workplace, a small rural drive-in restaurant where he's been working for the past year. That morning, the boss gathers Randy and the other staff for a quick meeting. Among them is Benson, Chris, and Chris's girlfriend, Jess, who seems a little too close for the workplace. Chris, however, isn't just the flirty type. He's also abrasive and a bully. The boss calls him out for slacking off the night before and hands out today's assignments to everyone else. Later, the boss pulls Randy aside for a private chat. Impressed by Randy's discipline and quiet nature, he generously offers him a promotion, a managerial position at another restaurant. But instead of being thrilled, Randy looks uncertain. It's clearly a big opportunity, yet he doesn't seem happy. The boss tells him to think it over carefully to see if he's truly ready for it. During this scene, one odd detail stands out. All the staff wear name tags with just their first names, but Randy's tag reads Bradley, his surname. After the meeting, everyone gets back to work. Chris, with nothing better to do, begins teasing Randy again. But Randy never fights back. He's used to this treatment, quietly enduring it every day. He simply doesn't have the confidence to resist. As Chris and Jess start openly flirting at work, Randy grows uncomfortable and finally tells them to stop. Irritated by his words, Chris takes it too far. He forcefully shoves a day-old stale burger into Randy's mouth and threatens him. All the while, another worker, Benson, is silently watching from the corner as he mops the floor. Finally, Benson steps in and tells Chris to stop it, but Chris, arrogant as ever, warns him not to interfere. That was the breaking point. Benson's face hardens with anger. Without saying much, he calmly walks out to his car, grabs a shotgun, and storms back inside. In one swift move, he fires, killing Chris instantly. Jess screams in terror at the sight, her voice echoing through the restaurant. The boss rushes in, only to be met with another fatal shot. He drops dead instantly. Jess, still screaming uncontrollably, becomes the next target. Benson shoots her with a pull of the trigger. Randy stands frozen, almost catatonic, watching the events unfold. When Benson finally points the gun at him, Randy doesn't even flinch. It's as if he's ready for whatever comes next. But instead of pulling the trigger, Benson makes a surprising choice. He spares Randy's life. Instead, he takes him along, forcing Randy to help. They drag the bodies into the meat room and lock the restaurant. Randy obeys every command, knowing that the slightest disobedience could cost him his life. Soon after, Benson drives off with Randy in the passenger seat, heading toward an unknown destination. Randy can't understand why he was spared, but Benson assures him that by the time the police discover the bodies, they'll be long gone. He talks as though nothing happened at all. His demeanor makes one thing clear. This man is disturbed. Eventually, Benson pulls up at a burger joint for breakfast, acting as if it's just another normal day. While eating, he finally explains his reason for keeping Randy alive. He's been watching Randy for a long time, studying his quiet, introverted nature. Benson claims he wants to teach Randy a tough lesson: how to stand up for himself, fight back, and make his own choices instead of always letting others control his life. For Benson, Randy wasn't just a sidekick. He was an experiment, a test subject. Benson wanted to see how Randy would react when forced into challenging situations, how far he would go if pushed to the edge. Of course, it was all a twisted game. The truth was, Benson would shoot Randy the moment he felt even slightly threatened. But in his mind, this exposure was helpful. At the burger joint, Benson singles out a staff member named Marka. Without hesitation, he insults her to her face, telling her she's done nothing with her life. His words are cruel and offensive. Yet he turns to Randy, using it as a lesson, proof in his twisted logic that harsh words mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. After breakfast, they hit the road again. Along the way, Benson digs into Randy's past. He learns that Randy's mother once made him repeat second grade. That incident scarred him, and because of that setback, Randy didn't finish high school until he was 19 instead of 18. Benson mocks this, calling it overparenting. In his view, no child should ever fail second grade. Soon they arrive at Benson's house, where his bedridden mother lies in her room. Benson gives her breakfast and orders Randy not to touch a single thing while he retrieves his revolver. But Benson's mother notices something strange. There are blood stains on Randy's clothes, stains far too dark to be ketchup, as Randy nervously claims. Suspicious, she asks Randy to hand her the phone so she can call someone. Randy hesitates, then slowly extends the phone toward her. But before she can take it, Benson lunges, stopping him. Enraged, Benson scolds Randy for disobeying and drags him back outside to the car. There, he makes his message clear. Make decisions for yourself, but not the kind of stupid ones that will land me in trouble. In that moment, Randy had the perfect chance to dial 911, to call the cops. But he didn't. Fear, shyness, hesitation, they all kept him frozen. Instead of acting, he gave the phone to the old woman, following her request, but never making the one call that could have saved him. Meanwhile, back at the drive-in restaurant, another worker shows up for her shift. She notices the bloodstains and quickly alerts the police. Benson and Randy continue their uneasy road trip. Inside the car, Benson suddenly asks Randy if he has a girlfriend or if he's still a virgin. Nervously, Randy admits he's single. And yes, he's a virgin. Surprisingly, Benson praises him. In his twisted logic, he says, "Too many guys rush into sex, end up with kids they never wanted, and those kids grow up only to realize they exist because their parents were just immature teenagers." According to Benson, it's the children who suffer in the end. As they're driving, a police car speeds past them, sirens wailing. Randy glances nervously, but Benson remains calm, continuing down the road. A little later, they stop at a gas station. Benson orders Randy to fill the tank while he heads inside to pay. Alone for a moment, Randy scans his surroundings, searching desperately for a way to escape. But before he can even think of running, Benson makes his move. Pulling out his gun, he discreetly points it at the back of the cashier, silently warning Randy, "If you try to escape, this man dies." Any other person might have taken the risk and bolted, but Randy, passive and hesitant as always, submits to the situation. He stays put. Back in the car, Benson shifts the conversation again, this time asking about Randy's love life. Randy admits he once had a girlfriend named Lisa, but they broke up because her cat died. It sounds absurd, and Benson bursts out laughing at how ridiculous it is. But curiosity gets the better of him. He decides they should go find Lisa and dig deeper into this supposed breakup. Meanwhile, back at Benson's house, a police officer arrives, suggesting that word of the killings may already be spreading. Soon, the two men arrive at a mall where Lisa works at a toy store. It's a busy Saturday, and she's preparing for a group of second graders expected to visit. As she stuffs toy animals onto the shelves, she suddenly spots Randy. The shock on her face says it all. This was the last thing she expected. When Randy timidly asks about their breakup, Lisa sets the record straight. She says they never really broke up. After her cat died, she just wanted Randy to understand her pain, to comfort her, to show that he cared. But Randy never expressed any emotion. Instead, he distanced himself and never even tried to reach out after she moved away. Lisa continues expressing her frustration with Randy for never opening up about something that happened when he was just 7 years old. She wanted him to share his pain, to let someone in. Listening carefully, Randy finally begins to understand her perspective. There's a small glimmer of hope. Lisa is willing to help him, but right now, he has a more urgent problem. Benson is still nearby, and children will arrive at the store any minute. He needs to get Benson out of there before disaster strikes. As Benson and Randy leave, Randy's phone rings. It's his mother, overbearing as always, keeping a constant watch over him. She demands he return home immediately, but Randy lies, covering up the chaos he's caught in. Slowly, he starts making decisions for himself. Lying to his mother is his second act of defiance. Dragging Benson out of the store was the first. Somehow, twisted as it is, Benson's intense exposure is working. On the road again, Randy finally shares the childhood incident that has haunted him for years. Back in second grade, his teacher, Miss Beard, had yelled at him for being naughty. Overwhelmed by emotion and anger, Randy grabbed a slingshot and fired an eraser at her. It struck her eye. The object lodged deep inside, leaving her permanently injured in that eye. Soon after, she was mocked by students and faculty alike for her injury. The incident shattered her life. She lost her job and fell into a dark world of mental health struggles. For Randy, the guilt was unbearable. That opening nightmare we saw, the bleeding eyes, was his mind's interpretation of this trauma. A child's angry mistake had almost ruined someone's life. Luckily, Miss Beard eventually recovered, and today, she was still teaching at the same elementary school. But Benson isn't done. He forces Randy to confront this guilt head-on. Even though Randy is terrified and reluctant, they drive to the school and ask the receptionist for Miss Beard's address. Since it's Saturday, she isn't at school. At first, the clerk hesitates, citing privacy concerns. But once she understands why Randy wants to meet her, she relents and gives him the address. While inside, Benson suddenly spots the vice principal leaving his office. He immediately recognizes him. Intrigued, he approaches the man and asks if he ever taught at Central Elementary back in the day. The man, Mr. Shepard, confirms that he was indeed Benson's third-grade teacher, but the moment turns dark fast. While heading to his car, Benson suddenly snaps and beats Shepard severely, so badly that it nearly kills him. Randy steps in at the last second, pulling Benson away. This was now Randy's third major decision, and once again, it manages to impress Benson. It becomes clear that Shepard hadn't been kind to Benson back when he was his teacher. Later, the two show up at Miss Beard's doorstep. The moment she sees Randy, she instantly recognizes him. With surprising warmth, she invites him inside and even offers him tea. Randy, filled with guilt, apologizes for everything and seeks closure. Miss Beard, however, has long since found peace. She was gentle, forgiving. She had learned to carry her pain without bitterness. She held no hatred toward Randy as she knew it was all just an accident. Life had moved on for her. Now divorced, she was raising her daughter, Tessa. Still, she admitted she often worried about Randy, knowing that such an incident must have left deep scars. Randy then explains that they found her address by visiting their old school. Meanwhile, Benson excuses himself and steps into the restroom, leaving the two to talk. But when he returns, things take a chilling turn. Miss Beard suddenly receives a call from the school. Someone had just attacked Mr. Shepard. Her eyes narrow. Suspicion grows, especially when she realizes these two had gotten her address from that very school. Her worry turns into fear when she notices blood smeared across Benson's hands. Benson loses control once again. In a flash, he pulls out a gun and points it directly at her. But Randy speaks up, urging him to stop. Surprisingly, Benson listens. Instead of killing her, he takes her with him. Unbeknownst to Benson, Randy quietly slips Miss Beard's phone into his pocket, his fourth decisive move. And now the three of them are circling the town aimlessly, with Benson having no real plan of what to do next. While driving, Randy suddenly claims he needs to use the restroom, forcing Benson to turn the car back toward the same burger joint where Marka was working. Once inside, Randy musters all his courage and dials 911. Shortly after, Marka confronts Benson about the cruel comment he made about her life. Still seething with anger, Benson, in rage, fires a shot at her feet. He seems ready to escalate the violence further, but Randy screams at him to stop. In the distance, police sirens grow louder, closing in fast. Benson, furious and panicked, demands to know who called the cops. Assuming it was Miss Beard, he aims to shoot her, but Randy steps in. The bullet hits him in the shoulder instead. Benson rushes to him, ready to lash out, but Randy stops him. Calmly, he admits that he was the one who called the police, having taken Miss Beard's flip phone from her house. The confession stuns Benson for the first time. He breaks down. Tearful, he whispers, "I was never in charge." It becomes clear that Benson has been struggling with severe mental health issues, refusing to accept his own instability. He had tried so desperately to prove he was stronger, better, in control, especially to Randy. But now he finally acknowledges the truth. Overcome, Benson walks out and seemingly provokes the police to shoot him. In the end, the authorities open fire, and Benson is killed. A few days later, we see Randy babysitting Miss Beard's daughter, Tessa, as she arrives home. Miss Beard is there to help him, guiding him gently. This whole harrowing episode leaves Randy in a much better place. In a shocking and unexpected way, the ordeal helped him move forward in life without fear. Even his relationship with his mother begins to improve as he slowly learns to take control of his own decisions. The movie also dives deep into Benson's psyche. He was clearly unstable, but also a victim of his own circumstances. He lost control the moment someone tried to bully him. From the very first kill, he knew he would get caught. He never tried to escape or flee the town. What he truly wanted was control. And in Randy, he saw an opportunity. A man just as conflicted as himself. By forcing Randy to confront his fears and make difficult decisions, Benson was giving him a second chance at life. At the same time, he was trying in his own twisted way to find meaning. By the end of the day, after judging all 5 of Randy's independent decisions, Benson finally feels a sense of redemption. Believing he deserves it, he chooses to end his own life, provoking the police to shoot him. In a quieter, tender moment, we see the toys, a crocodile, and a giraffe that Randy and Benson had stuffed at the mall. They now sit in Miss Beard's home as a gift for Tessa, symbolizing hope. It also hints that Randy and Lisa may now have a connection, perhaps visiting her often at the toy store. This movie is a gripping thriller that explores trauma, redemption, and the power of making choices. Even in the darkest moments, change is possible with just a little help. If you enjoyed this recap, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks for watching and take care.